We are back on Inside Politics. Our guest today, Lieutenant Governor Randy McNally. We're talking about the state budget situation as the legislature gets ready to reconvene on Monday. Governor McNally, back when the shutdown was issued by Governor Lee, you and the House Speaker were standing right behind him. Since that time, we've had the almost complete shutdown of the economy for several weeks. We've had all the problems we've been talking about in the state budget. We've got talking about the unemployment. Do you think what we did was worth it? There's some people who question that, given what happened. That we haven't had the problems with the shutdown order being challenged in court as it had in other areas. But do you feel confident that what we did was the right thing to do for public safety?
I do. I really respect the governor's efforts in that regard, and I think that it will take time to judge whether we could have done it sooner, or we should have done it longer, or we should have not done a complete shutdown. But I think the main thing this prevented was a spike in cases that could not be handled by our local hospitals and medical facilities.
You're coming back to a situation where there's been quite a few changes made up on Capitol Hill, up in the Cordell Hall building and up in the Capitol itself. Do you feel safe going back up there? You have a number of people, particularly on your side of the building, that like us have gray in their hair. Are you convinced you're going to be coming back to a safe situation?
I am. We've done a lot as far as moving the desks to keep the individuals 6 feet apart. We'll encourage people to wear masks when they're not talking. We're doing everything we can to keep our staff safe and to keep people in the legislature from getting the virus in Nashville and then going back home and spreading it to other people in their home area.
Part of keeping people safe is also to sort of keep the public out to a large degree. The House seems to be ready to let the people come back in and, as on a limited basis within social distancing, allow them to come in and sit on committee meetings and maybe even sit up in the gallery in the House. What are you going to do in the Senate? I understand you're not going to allow much outside people to come in just because of safety reasons.
We are. We've got a much smaller chamber and a much smaller gallery. So we'll have one press person actually on the floor, and we'll have room for 8 or 10, I believe, up in the gallery. As far as committees, the press will be able to, the Capitol Hill press corps will be able to cover all the committee meetings. It will all be video televised, and so there's not really a need for people to come in. In fact, it does, create problems if they do. We are allowing people to come to legislative offices by appointment, and that seems to be working out what we're doing right now.
The legislature doesn't often meet in June. In this case, you're meeting on June 1st, which is actually Statehood Day, the day Tennessee joined the Union in 1796. It'll be the 226th anniversary of the state of Tennessee, but probably the strangest time that Tennessee's ever had for a June 1st birthday.
It will be. And somebody once said, I forget who it was, but nothing ever good happens when the legislature's in session in the summer.
Well, let's hope that doesn't turn out to be true. How long do you expect to be up here? You're going to be up here through the entire month of June, and how are you going to keep everybody busy and not getting into devilment and mischief while they're here? And I'm talking about on the floor, not on the streets.
I hope we're only there for about 2 weeks, and it might be longer. It takes both houses to adjourn, but I feel that the Senate can finish its business fairly easily in 2 weeks.
Normally you're in a situation, this is the second year of the session, you'd be adjourning sine die, would not be coming back unless the governor called you back in. Do you feel like you need to recess again this time in case something does come back in the fall in the virus and you need to convene the General Assembly right away? And to make sure if the virus comes back, you can deal with whatever needs to be done in terms of whatever changes need to be made in state law or in financing?
Well, the governor can call us back and in special session, and that we would only be limited to what he would call us back for. For example, if he called us back to address revenue issues, it would be limited only to that particular subject.
So where do we go from here? You think this is going to make changes with the way the legislature acts going forward in the future? What changes will this make just in politics in Tennessee?
Well, I think there'll be a number of changes. One is that I think we will encourage the healthcare institutions to develop plans should something like this happen again, and also to make sure that they have enough equipment on hand, and possibly that the state even stockpiles some equipment. I think as far as the legislature itself, I think we'll eventually be able to replenish what we use in the various reserve funds that we have to take. And if we do have to dip into the rainy day fund, we'll continue to replenish it. I think, as we've done in the past, we're a very fiscal conservative body, and this helped us prepare for what we're going through now.
Lieutenant Governor Randy McNally, thank you so much for coming back, and we wish you every success coming back in this month, and you get things wrapped up and the state goes forward and we're successful in dealing with all this. And thank you for joining us on Inside Politics. Hope you'll be back here again for a future show. If you can't get into politics in the meantime, go to the Channel 5 website. You'll find my Capitol View commentary there. New commentary posted every Friday afternoon. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we'll see you back here next time. Goodbye.